Plarium, please! Episode 5 and season finale. So let's review our other 4 episodes. So in episode 1, we discussed donations in the form of being able to purchase these packs and gift them to others via their number. And or being able to just make straight purchases to Plarium Play as a virtual gift card so that they could purchase whatever packs they wish to. Then, in episode 2, we discussed community challenges, mainly in dungeons, like some of the content creators done. Now, they've actually listened, probably not to me. I doubt they even saw this video, but they have listened and they're going to attempt it. So I'm hopeful for this, but I have little faith. So they're going to apparently attempt to do this as far as speedruns go, but depending on how they do it, they may just make this whale and kraken fest, and the rest of us are left in the dust. Because you've got to implement like the content creators do. Maybe certain champions have to be excluded, and player power has to be limited. If you don't limit it to try and make it as even and fair as possible, it's going to fail miserably. And I'm not sure that I have faith that Plarium will do anything like that. So in episode 3, we of course discussed a few ideas of how to improve Arena and what is wrong. I don't know how much more they can improve things. They definitely need to make 3v3 here scalable based on the number of players and not just a flat set number of people that can be in, because you're limited the amount of people that are in gold, you're limited the amount of people in silver, and you're limited pretty much all the way through bronze until you have bronze 1, which is obviously no limit. These all, at least through silver, need to expand as the player base expands. And of course, regular arena and live arena, they do what they do. We've made our suggestions on that. Then in episode 4, of course, was cleanup here of these fragments and what you could potentially do with them. Hopefully they finally take that to heart. And worst case, they just clean it up and we lose all these fragments. But that is fine either way. So episode 5. What do I want to discuss in episode 5? Well, here's my suggestion, right? New content. Always got to come up with new content. So what new content could they create? Well, recently they've done dungeons, and they took the 4 dungeons, the regular 4 dungeons here, and they added hard mode. That's fine. Change the mechanics a little bit, and there you go. But let's see, ice golem, hard mode. I attempted stage 1 once. And that was that failed. Dragon, I can do 10, but I actually farm with a solo and food champ stage 7 on Dragon Hard, a full suite of champs for Spider 10, and Fire Knight Hard I haven't even attempted yet. So, is what it is. But so those are, the new dungeons. That's a new game mode they added, but all I did was modify how the bosses work. So is that very exciting? I don't know. They've added Sand Devil. That's some new stuff. Something here, probably going to be some type of oil for ascending the accessories that they will probably add. And of course, they got Iron Twins, which they might be forcing us into potentially doing that if you want to ever compete or go for frag/fusion event champs ever again. But that remains to be seen yet. We still got, I don't know, a week and a half or so before we find out if the second summon rush is going to be actually a summon rush for soul stones instead of shards. Now, I don't know about y'all. It's annoying and it drives me batty. I can do all of Doom Tower hard. Well, I shouldn't say all of it. I can complete all the floors on Doom Tower hard, and normal. I can do all the secret rooms on normal. I can do the vast majority of the secret rooms on hard. There's a few in this rotation and rotation 2 that I cannot do, but otherwise I can complete all of the secret rooms on rotation 1, and I don't know that I care to put more resources into a bunch of rare champs to try and clear this for 3 whopping, you know, fragments of whatever the next champ is. So, what is my suggestion though? I like Doom Tower. The nice thing about it, let's go to normal here since I haven't completed that yet. But we got energy available here. We got coin, charms, brews, glyphs, gems. Of course, more energy here. But we can get chickens, tomes, shards. So you get a bunch of rewards for each floor and all that. So I don't know. Let's create something similar to this. Some new bosses, some new mechanics to use some different champs. That would be awesome. I don't know. The Pit of Despair, Stairway to Hell. Something like a Doom Tower, but maybe we're going down this time instead of up. But similar, where it's challenging. I mean, this is challenging even for a lot of in-game players. Hard is still challenging for me on a lot of these floors. Some of them I still have to sit there and manual. And, they're slow. You can see my comp there. 51 turns taken to get through it. And it does take some time. Some of them are easier than others. Some are more difficult. I don't have any kind of speed team for this, which kind of sucks because, well, I still don't have a Kymar. And Double Renegade is not necessarily a viable option compared to a Kymar. But anyway, so there's my suggestion, right? And you need some new content, but I like the concept of the Doom Tower. Maybe like I said, invert it, Stairway to Hell, or, the Pit of Despair or whatever. Maybe not necessarily this format, but you could do some rewards. Maybe instead of tomes and shards or whatever in this new dungeon, the big rewards would be soul stones and or oils there to kind of assist with Iron Twins and Sand Devil and help us, get better soul or his blessings and, ascend our gear, whatever. So that would be one of the rewards. And then I guess you could, just kind of do the same thing through the regular floors, ascending downward, give some energy coin, the standard stuff. That would be fine. But new boss mechanics would be fun. And like I said, Doom Tower I find fun and challenging, but on the same token, it can be frustrating. It does kind of stink sometimes to sink a lot of resources in just to get past a certain floor or a boss. But that's the whole point of the game, right? Is figure out comps through gearing and champs as to how these beat these bosses. The floors are a little annoying, but the bosses are the mainstay. But you got to get through the floors, so that's part of it, and that's that's always a new challenge because you've got different people you're trying to fight. Lord Shazar here and Martyr on this floor, whereas on this floor, you've got J-Reg and Masalad, whatever, and Kreela there. I think it's Kreela. But anyway, you're fighting different champions, so you can't necessarily use the same comp every way, but that gives a whole new avenue there for at least another 3 to 6 months for people to challenge. You can do different rotations. Hopefully they would switch up the bosses if they did different rotations so that you don't have some overlapping. Like one thing that's sad is Baumel being here with Dark Fae. That kind of negates 2 good sets there. And of course everybody's for the most part going to probably be farming Dark Fae for that lethal. But the Griffin overlapping, the Scarab King overlapping, that's kind of boring. So hopefully it would be, 4 or whatever, depending on the floors, 4, 5, or 6 different bosses each rotation. That would definitely prolong the longevity there of how long that content stays relevant before it's all completed, but that presents new challenges. Hydra is nice, but it's starting to get old a little bit. Now, sadly for us, I can beat Hydra Nightmare, but as a clan we don't, but we are able to finish off Brutal, Hard, and Normal, so getting the 2 key rewards is obviously better than just getting 1 reward from Nightmare from 1 key. The second token is, for whatever reason, my hard team just struggles. I barely get 1 key, and I've tried all kinds of different comps there to get better, and it just doesn't work. But as you can see, my Brutal pushing 100 mil, so it can easily do a 1 key on Nightmare, but then I would be struggling to do Brutal. My Normal's pretty easy, but I don't know how well it would suffice on Hard. Just threw these champs in together here and turn it on auto and come back. So I don't know how well this comp would work on Hard, but anyway. But it's the same old thing, and now it's just the same old rewards, right? Protection and stone skin set, and get your soul stones, and that's it. So it's kind of become a little bit boring, just like clan boss. It's great getting the rewards, don't get me wrong, but clan boss is kind of boring. You just click, set it, forget it, and done, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but we need new content there. So that's one idea that I'm proposing there for some new content. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. I'm gonna finish off this series with this episode, at least for this season 1. I don't know that it's really getting a lot of views, so and while the ideas are probably good, I don't know that Plarium's hearing it, and that this information is probably mostly, for the most part, falling on deaf ears. Shout out and thanks to anybody who did watch these episodes. I appreciate it. Hopefully some of these ideas you'll spread along if you find them good. And if not, well, then it is what it is. But at least I put it out there and I made the attempt. So there you go. That's episode 5, and a new dungeon that I think they could add. I don't know if they want to add another slot like over here, or do kind of like clan bosses and on Doom Tower, instead of just Doom Tower being available, you would also have whatever new dungeon or whatnot. But I like the concept of Doom Tower, so I hope they do something similar to that next time instead of just extending the dungeons. But I have a funny feeling at some point they're going to make hard mode go all the way to 25, which might be all right for Dragon and Spider. I don't know that the buffs to the new Ice Golem sets are really worthwhile there, and Fire Knight's just too ridiculous right now with the champs that they have out. So they're going to have to add some new champs, or that's not going to fly very well, because barely a handful of people can beat Hard 10. And they'll probably still focus on Live Arena quite a while. So who knows if we'll see any of this new content, with the exception of, I would dare say that sometime between now and at least the end of the year, we're probably going to get this dungeon, but who knows. One last thing I do want to point out that's a little frustrating: Sand Devil and Iron Twins are part of dungeons and yet don't count one lick towards dungeon divers. That's frustrating. I kind of get Iron Twins because you're limited to only doing 6 keys, but you can run unlimited runs on Sand Devil. Why has that not been added to dungeon divers? That's kind of frustrating to me. Anyway, there you have it all in a nutshell. Have a nice day.